Let's talk about what the entire world is talking about, and that is Giannis. We are on Giannis watch because the draft is tomorrow, the day by which the Bucks have said they want resolution on the Giannis trade front. What do we know?
Well, I will tell you this. I was really skeptical that the Boston Celtics were going to go all in on this. And from what I understand, they have. The Celtics and the Heat are the two teams aggressively going after Giannis. I would say they are the finalists. And if Giannis is going to be traded in the next 24 hours, which I think is a good chance of happening, I think it's either going to be to Boston or Miami. And the Boston thing is the one. They were very cautious about putting Jaylen Brown in this an official firm offer. I believe they have. Jaylen Brown is on the table, and Jaylen Brown could get traded for Giannis Antetokounmpo in the short-term future.
I feel like if you're a star in this league and if your name is involved in rumors, you want your front office to come out and say, by no means necessary are we trading Jaylen Brown. Nobody from the Boston Celtics has done that. So it looks like his name is actually involved, going back to what we said from the beginning. What is the best asset you can get in return if you're Milwaukee? A guy like Jaylen Brown, if you can get that in return for Giannis, that's a deal to be done. But the thing is, if you're Giannis, if you want to be out of this deal, if you want a decision to be made, if you do want to go to Boston, all you have to say is, hey, the only team I'm willing to sign my extension with is Miami or is Boston. That can force the hand. So between me right now, it's between those two teams and what the assets they have in return.
Uncle Seth, how do you see it?
Well, first you say, well, Jaylen Brown, you don't let him know that he's going to be on the trading block. He made himself or put himself on the trading block by how he reacted when the Celtics lost in the playoffs. He basically said, in a lot of ways, instead of complimenting each other like they did to win a championship, that Tatum and Brown were competing against each other in a lot of ways. Where Giannis, he will be able to compliment Jason Tatum. I think that has a chance to be a championship team. Everyone talks about the Heat. That sounds great. Bam and Giannis, who's going to get in the ball? Who's going to defend the ball at the point of attack? Who's going to make shots to give those guys space? So if one trade makes sense, I think Jaylen Brown moving on and obviously Giannis stepping into that role, a 4 or 5 guy that can kind of explode, give him scoring at the rim, but absolutely compliments Jason.
Here's where the rubber meets the road. The Celtics have, I believe, decided they just weren't good enough. It wasn't that Jason Tatum got hurt and they lost that series with Philly. I think the Celtics have taken a hard look in the mirror and they have decided we weren't going to beat the Knicks. All these people are like saying that the Knicks are, they want to say reasons why they didn't beat the Knicks. Not the Celtics. The Celtics are stone cold sober, think they're not as good as the Knicks. They're not sure they're going to be as good as the Pacers next year when they come back fully healthy, and they believe they need to upgrade their team. And I am now speculating that if Jaylen Brown doesn't get traded for Giannis, they may trade him somewhere else. So that is one of the things that emerged. Now, Miami understands this. Miami understands that Jaylen Brown is in there. They can't match that. Miami, in recent days, has gone out to try to recruit third and fourth teams to improve their offer. They have what they have. They don't have a premium player. They don't have a Jaylen Brown. The most premium asset that they have to trade is the number 13 pick in tomorrow night's draft, which is a good piece, but it's not Jaylen Brown. So they have gone out to try to enhance their offer, and I think that's what we're going to get.
Who's he going to play with, though? Like, those two guys, who are they going to play with?
Well, it's almost like the redundancy that you saw with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum is in what you then get in Miami between Bam and Giannis a little bit. So that's why it feels like it's more compatible for Jason Tatum and Giannis to play, because they can be involved in pick and pop, and Giannis can play downhill, can open up floor spacing for shooting. And also, the Celtics need to reinvent the way they play, because the amount of threes they take has not been conducive to them winning another title.
And they got to get a point guard. Peyton Pritchard's a very good player. But if he's your starting point guard, you're not winning an NBA championship. They got to get another point guard, and then they got to find out maybe one other front court player that they can rely on to complement Giannis.
So I want to go back in time, because we really are. This could really be sort of a historic little inflection point. I hosted NBA Countdown for 2 years, and the first road show we ever did was in Boston. This was like November of 2022, and the topic of conversation with me, Wilbon, Stephen A., and Jalen was, do the Celtics need to break up Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown? That was a topic going back that far. That's 6 years ago. That season, they wound up making the NBA Finals. The next year, the Eastern Conference Finals. And the year after that, they won a championship. You're talking about breaking up these two guys who have, while I understand some might say underachieved, you're still talking about two guys who have done a lot of high-level wins.
Which is one of the reasons when I heard Jaylen Brown's name in here, I was just really skeptical. But I believe that the Celtics have come to that conclusion. They looked at the way this season went. They looked at where the future is going to go. Jaylen Brown is 29. He's going to turn 30 before next season. He's not aging out. Like, he is absolutely in his prime. He's under contract for 3 more years. Like, this is a proven core. Look, Brad Stevens has set a track record for excellent pro personnel moves. You know, they have made trades that have been really smart. For example, Marcus Smart. This is a guy who was a core player in Boston, not of Jaylen Brown's quality, but a core player in Boston. A few years ago, they traded him for Kristaps Porzingis. That was a trade that helped elevate them. They made a trade for Drew Holiday at the right time. So it's Brad Stevens' evaluation that I think that they need to alter this core.
Or is it a determination that Tatum and Brown just cannot coexist anymore, to the point that Seth was making? Again, I don't try and put myself in Jaylen Brown's head. I've never met him in my entire life. But some of the comments he made after the season certainly suggested it was not a huge leap to go from what he said to thinking he doesn't want to be there anymore.
Well, 2 things. Number one, they can coexist, but can they coexist in this new style in which they want to play to win an NBA championship if they feel that they're not that far off the mark? Giannis adds a different kind of development for them in that category. And then
the new style means not taking 53s a game? Is that
and actually having somebody that could be a rim protector, somebody that
Giannis, he's going to get
pressure on the paint consistently.
Right.
And then the second thing I would say is that, and I made this point before, there has to be a certain part of Jaylen Brown. If you're watching the way things went with Luka and Jalen Brunson then goes to New York, has his own team. A lot of what Jaylen Brown felt this year was everybody capitulating to Jaylen Brown. And they finished second in the East. I'm not saying it's the right long-term strategy, Wendy, but
Joe Mazzulla won Coach of the Year. He won Coach of the Year this year. They
He did more with less, everyone thought.
I agree. I'm just saying, like, this is not a team that's going the wrong direction.
How's their locker room? Like, you're only as good as your locker room. Like, what's the dynamic with Tatum and Brown in that locker room? Because if they figured out a way for a year to win a championship, but because of the injury, because Brown became the alpha as opposed to Tatum, and all of a sudden he kind of liked that role.
They are not best friends, but they are champions.
Like the first thing you said.
Brown's the guy that got Eastern Conference Finals MVP, NBA Finals MVP, but then all the attention is still on Jason Tatum out there. So it's like this constant
There's been a little of that, and it's been around a long time. And so what we're telling you is that it could end today after all these years. We'll be all over it all morning long. Coming up, me and Uncle.
Is there a world, Chris Canty, Michelle Smallman, Evan Cohen with you, is there a world where it is 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night and Giannis is still a member of the Milwaukee Bucks?
It depends on where you think Giannis is going to land. If everything is on the up and up in terms of the reporting and Giannis's preferred destination is Miami, if it doesn't happen by tomorrow night, then I would say that this thing is probably going to bleed into the season, right? If Giannis is only willing to sign an extension with the Miami Heat and nowhere else, then I find it hard to believe that this is going to get past draft night. Because the deal that Miami would be sending back to Milwaukee would have to include the 13th overall pick this year, right? You got a historically deep draft class, right? Everybody is clamoring to have assets in this year's draft because of the talent that's coming out of the prep ranks. If you're Milwaukee and you're resetting after trading Giannis, you want to get in on that. And unfortunately, you don't have any assets to speak of early on. So it